I just found out that I've only been recording for 2 hours and I was quite surprised. I thought with all the cutscenes and everything that MGS4 has, it would have been a lot longer, but apparently not. I think the cutscenes alone, in this whole entire game are... I forget the exact number. I have seen the exact number. I think the total running time of the cutscenes in MGS4 is 6 hours, I think. It's either over 6 hours or 7 hours. I can't remember the exact number, but it's close. Between 6 or 7 hours, I think. Approximately. It's no less than 6 hours. I'm almost certain of that. And we are bleeding, I think. Maybe we should... Well, if I healed, it would stop the bleeding, but... I guess I could buy a bandage from Drebin. Maybe I have a bandage in my inventory, actually. This is one of few unskippable cutscenes throughout the game. It's about 20 seconds long, so it's no big deal. Although it can get kind of annoying if you've replayed the game for the millionth time and you don't want to watch the cutscenes on this particular playthrough. It can be annoying. Another awesome... What? Guess it was these two guys that got me. Well, I guess I'll be fighting alongside the rebels now. Well, I was anyway, but... But it's nice that they finally allow you to pause the cutscenes in this game. Because that was one big flaw in MGS 1, 2 and 3. The cutscenes are quite long. And sometimes maybe there's a knock at the door when doing... Maybe there's a knock at the door halfway through a cutscene. And you don't really have a choice. So MGS 4, they finally kind of realized maybe we should start adding a pause button to the cutscenes. Although Peace Walker did not have one, I don't think. Ground Zeroes obviously has one. I'm assuming the Phantom Pain would. I mean, why wouldn't it? Ground Zeroes did, so of course it will. I want to get that guy in the building. Keep missing. Whoa. Oh no, they blew up the tank. I hope that doesn't stop the rebels from advancing. Although this is the last you see of the rebels in this area. After this area, it's just PMCs for the rest of the act. And then you get another faction of rebels in Act 2. These dumbasses, they're just running right into the open. Two guys behind the sandbags. Missed. There is a building you can go in. Where's that gone? Here it is. Completely optional, but I don't go in this building much, so I kind of want to. Oh, it gives us a good vantage point. Got missed. And with those two guys unconscious, I think that allows the rebels to take over. I do know to progress you're supposed to go up the ladder by there, but I just want to explore a little bit. Explore these areas I don't normally explore. Must be one of the few remaining PMCs. Did he drop his rifle? Yeah. Yep, rebels win. Is there any way to slide down this ladder? Don't think so. I missed the fireworks. Oh well. Yeah, me. Remember the guy who helped you? Don't seem very grateful. There's no love hearts or anything. They normally have a love heart above their head to indicate that they like you and they know that you've helped them. These guys don't seem very grateful though. Oh, there we go. It's all good. And this is where we get our first look at the Beauty and the Beast Corporation. This is a pretty badass cutscene. This boss squad, it has its ups and downs, I'll say. I hate the Raging Raven fights, but I really, really enjoy the Laughing Octopus fight and Screaming Mantis. I think the Screaming Mantis fight and the Laughing Octopus fight those two are some of the best fights in the series. I know a lot of people were disappointed with the Screaming Mantis fight, but I thought it was great. I was actually quite shocked when I saw that people disliked the Screaming Mantis fight. I was like, really? I thought that fight was awesome. Obviously these bosses, as characters, they aren't very interesting, but purely from their design, I just love the design of the bosses. They all look very cool. And the fights themselves, for the most part, are awesome. For the most part, like I said.
It's the beast!
There. On the left. You can see Psycho Mantis' ghost there if you look to the left very quickly. Almost missed it. As I said before, I think they put the least amount of effort into the codec system in this game, but I want to see if Otacon says anything about that.
Those things just
He does. I'm surprised.
Must be the special unit that wounded militiaman was talking about.
And now the wreckage is blocking the way. Snake, head straight for Liquid's camp.
Doesn't have much to say about it. I mean, wouldn't you be going kind of crazy over that? I find it weird that Otacon or Snake wouldn't have heard about the Beauty and the Beast Corporation as well. It seems as if it would be a pretty big famous thing if it existed. I mean, I know they have these big robots like geckos, which are commonplace on the battlefield, but still, the Beauty and the Beast Corporation seems like a really kind of weird, crazy thing that a lot of people would know about. So you would think that Otacon would already know about it, but apparently not. Because of course, later on in the game, Drebin is the one who has to tell Snake about the corporation. And it's completely new to Snake. It's the first he's ever heard of it. I can normally get past this bit without getting spotted. It's pretty easy. Especially when you use the trank, of course. Although this is one of the areas which I think is quite doable only using CQC. He's getting a bit close, yeah, it's okay. He's going to turn around. I can get into that building at least without tranking that guy, I think. I hope that dude on the machine gun doesn't notice. Although it doesn't really look like he's looking in my direction. I think it's all good. Just move on. Theme of Solid Snake. There was a guard up here, so gotta watch out for this guy. I'll CQC him. I love the way Snake kind of crawls. That's the slowest speed. That's how he moves at the slowest speed. It's great. Don't move that fast. I rarely ever buy stuff from Drebin as well. Unless I'm going on a playthrough where I just want to mess around and kill as much people as possible using all crazy weapons. Suppressor. So this is the final area you have to sneak through, and then the act is over. That's it for Act 1. When I was playing the game for the first time, I was also surprised by the lack of boss fights up to this point, because the MGS games normally have a lot of boss fights. I hope this guy does... Yeah, I didn't want to risk that. I think he was going to see me. But yeah, I was thinking, because Act 1, the first time I played through it, it took me a while to get through it. And I was kind of surprised. I was like, well, you know, where's the boss fights? Because that's one thing I love about the MGS games. They normally have a lot of boss fights. But MGS4 actually waits quite a while before it gives you your first boss fight. I think some people consider that encounter with the frog soldiers just then a boss fight, but nah, I wouldn't say so. Not a chance. Now this guy in the watchtower always messes me up if I don't trank him, so I'm taking him out right away. I tend to just stick to the outskirts of this area. That seems to work just well, and no one seems to spot me as long as I do this. Got one dude over there. I think we're safe from him. I won't bother tranking this guy. If you trank a lot of people, it just feels cheap, I think. It feels like you're just... You're exploiting the game. It's not an exploit, because the trank is just a weapon, a normal weapon they put in the game for you to use. But it just feels kind of cheap if you use it a lot. I just need to go through that door. Is he... Yeah, he's gone. All good. And that's Act 1.
Hey you, get over here.
Yes?
We're having connection problems. Go check it out.
Yes, sir.
Annika, wait here.
First look at Liquid Ocelot in the flesh.
Liquid.
It's never stated clearly, but Ocelot is supposed to be the son of the Sorrow and the boss in MGS3. The Sorrow is the medium guy, the ghost, the medium. So it's kind of bullshitty why Liquid would possess Ocelot just because he had his arm grafted onto him. But when you find out that Ocelot was the son of a medium, a spirit medium, it makes a little bit more sense. It's still ridiculous, but it adds a tiny bit of credibility to it.
My mission is to inspect the PMCs. I'm not in a position to take action. All I can do is stand by and watch. I can't help you, understand? I'm a peacekeeper, here to keep order.
Understood.
I mean, if Ocelot is the son of a medium, a guy with supernatural powers, then it adds a tiny bit of credibility to the whole Liquid can possess Ocelot just because he's had his arm grafted onto him. It's still ridiculous, like I said, but it adds a tiny bit of credibility to it, as I've said a lot.
Activated.
They never state it specifically in MGS3, but apparently there's an optional codec conversation that you can trigger at some point in the game where they strongly imply that Ocelot is the son of the boss in the Sorrow. I've never been able to trigger the optional conversation. I don't know when you're supposed to trigger it or where. I could just Google it and find out, but I've never bothered to. I will one day.
easy. But these results... refreshing. Don't you think?
It's been too long.
Liquid.
Rejoice! We're not copies of our father, after all.
Not exact copies, he means.
Free of the shackles of fate. Snake, brother. We are free. Watch, Snake. Watch as I surpass my own origin.
Oops, almost.
Snake, if you won't be a prisoner to fate, then go. Fulfill your destiny.
I will say that at this point MGS4 hadn't really captured me the same way the other games managed to in their first act or within their first few hours of gameplay. I guess it's because there doesn't seem to be much going on, I think, at this point of the game. It's not as if there's any cool mysteries to keep you invested or anything like that. No, I won't save. I guess it's because there's not any cool mysteries or anything at this point. I guess there's what was Liquid doing just then. What did he do? There's obviously some nanomachines nonsense going on there, but there weren't really any mysteries going on here which I really cared about. Essentially the story is Snake is going to stop Liquid at this point, and it's nothing really more complicated than that. I mean, like I said, you have that little mystery going on with everyone going crazy and you're like, what's going on there? But aside from that, it's a pretty straightforward story. So I guess at that point I wasn't really captivated. But MGS4 never really captivated me the same way the other games did at any point. In terms, I was never really... I don't think the story in MGS4 is as riveting or as captivating as the story in the first 3 games. However, MGS4 does have some amazing high points. And these high points are just mad good. So when MGS4 is good, it's really, really good. So I'm not saying I dislike MGS4, not at all, because I love it a lot. It is my least favourite numbered MGS game, but I still do love it. I just want to get that out there. Of course, for those of you who haven't realised at this point, that is Olga's child from MGS2. Solidus killed her right after Raiden defeated the Metal Gear race. Of course, the Patriots were holding her child, Sonny, hostage. And then Raiden had to do what the Patriots wanted him to do to save her life.
Uncle Hal? The eggs? They're done.
Thank you, Sonny.
Snake?
So, back from the dead?
I don't remember the sun being so flat.
Sorry. I'll dig in right away, Sonny. And would you make some for Snake, too?
Okay.
Hey, none for me, Sonny. Shh. How long was I out?
A whole day.
So you can't gain control of the Mark II while you're waiting. So to keep yourself amused doing the cutscene, you can control the Mark II if you want.
Could have been Meryl and her boys.
I'm just gonna grab 1 or 2 items which are hidden around here, then
Don't worry.
I'll just watch the cutscene. I'll focus on the cutscene. Got a flashback.
Liquid got away.
You okay?
My body just seized up all of a sudden. This is normal. It's not my joints or muscles.
It looked like the PMC soldiers all went haywire en masse, too. I thought it might be a form of ADS, but I didn't detect any aberrations in the EM field. You were lucky. Some of those guys' hearts simply stopped.
She was there. Naomi was at Liquid's side. Otacon, did you see her?
No, but you're right. Naomi was there. I found traces of her DNA in that syringe you were holding.
So it was Naomi. Why?
I didn't realise you could go up and down these stairs until I beat the game a bunch of
Let me
times.
show you something.
It's one of the many things I didn't find out until I beat the game a lot.
Right after it all happened, I got a video mail from Naomi.
I better keep the controller in
It was
case
sent
there's
to
more
my old
flashbacks.
address.
Here you go.
Thanks, Sonny. They're delicious.
But you haven't even eaten any.
We'd grown up perhaps have to watch our caloric intake, you know. Ah, but thank you. I was looking for this.
You're not watching your nicotine intake.
Sonny! You really hurt her feelings.
Yeah. Why don't you teach her how to cook eggs then?
Oh, like I know how to cook. Hey, check this out.
Police Notes background, one of Kojima's
Data's been
earlier
quarantined.
games.
No viruses. The voice print matches Naomi's, and I'm fairly confident the video isn't digitally synthesized either.
Snake, I'll make this quick. I'm in South America. I've been captured and forced to do research. It's Liquid. Liquid's goal is to seize control of SOP, the Sons of the Patriot system that controls the soldiers. To do that, he needs to analyze the nanomachine structure and find out how they communicate with one another. The nanomachines currently in use by militaries and PMCs are third generation. But their design is derived from that of the first generation. And the basic technology is still the same.
First generation?
I was the one who created the first generation. A nanomachine colony, part of which was Foxdie. 9 years ago, at Shadow Moses, I injected it into your body, Snake. The technology used in Foxdie was incorporated, inherited really, by SOP. That's why Liquid has me helping him hijack the system, because I know how Foxdie works. Please, you must rescue me. Liquid's found a loophole he can use to get into the system. Preparations for his insurrection are nearly complete. There's no time to waste. Snake, hurry!
Naomi sent her location data in a separate file.
What the hell is that?
It's a type of encrypted data. Sonny decoded it for us. Remember now? This is data from the Soliton radar you used at Shadow Moses. I'm guessing Naomi wants us to know the message truly is from her. Sending the map data in Soliton radar format. Pretty clever. And Mei Ling's helping us out from Hawaii.
The data she sent was 4D sound data. I don't know how Soliton radar works, but all I had to do was change the audio data into video data. It was easy. This Naomi lady seems pretty cool.
It's Campbell.
Snake, as you'll recall, following the Shadow Moses incident 9 years ago, Naomi was detained by the authorities. But someone arranged for her escape.
Yeah, I hear they added that to my rap sheet too.
I suspect it was actually Liquid. He must have taken her prisoner himself and forced her to do research at his facility in South America. Chances are, the location Naomi gave us is the site of Liquid's main base.
But there's no actual proof.
There's an ongoing skirmish between the new regime put into power by PMCs and a rebel army formed by remnants of the old one. The rebels have hired a small-scale local PMC of their own to stir things up. It's the quintessential example of a war economy market. The new regime is still in shambles, so it's really pure armament, one of the PMCs under Outer Heaven control, that's calling the shots. You might say it's a perfect place for Liquid to make his haven.
Or It could be a trap.
True. But even so, the payoff would greatly aid our efforts.
I had Sonny trace the origin of Naomi's mail. The address is fake, but Sonny was able to track the message back through its proxies based on access date timestamps and data transfer volumes. Apparently, the message originated from a server in South America. I wouldn't exactly call it 100% credible, though.
Colonel, where's Meryl?
I know she left the Middle East in pursuit of liquid. I'm sure Arsak is on to us by now. We can't chase that line too far.
Which leaves Naomi as our only lead.
I've secured you landing clearance at El Dorado International Airport. You'll be acting as a UN inspector.
South America. That's about 20 hours from here. Then what's the plan?
I'll arrange for them to get you a 4x4. The location Naomi gave us, the PMC's base, is in a mountainous region surrounded by forests. Use the 4x4 to get as close as possible to the PMC security perimeter. From there on, Snake, it'll be a solo sneaking mission.
Roy.
Thanks. The rebels are still pitched in battle against the PMCs. A commotion should help you slip into the facility unnoticed.
20 hours until we land. Got it. I'll have a look at the documents. Maybe I'll even have a smoke while I still can.
Every single act begins with a 15-minute long cutscene, sometimes 20, maybe even 20 minutes long in some of the acts. The cutscenes basically obviously go over the general story up until that point and basically tell you your next course of action. I do feel as if they go into a bit too much information. Yeah, they go into a bit too much detail, I feel. It's kind of self-indulgent, but that's what Metal Gear does. It's just one of those things. At this point, you're used to it, I guess. I actually quite like the debriefing doing Act 4 and 5, actually. But the debriefing we just sat through there, I don't find it particularly interesting. It's kind of just... it drones on, in my opinion. There's a lot of techno-babble. They go into a bit too much detail about the nanomachines, 3rd generation, 2nd generation. It's like, whatever, just tell me what's going on. Just, you know, get down to business. This is where they completely retcon the cliffhanger at the end of MGS2.
All of this.
The Patriots, you mean?
The data we got from Arsenal Gear was a load of crap. 12 founders who have all been dead for 100 years. Give me a break. We know they existed.
So MGS2 ended on a great cliffhanger where you found out the Patriots have been dead for 100 years. And they just completely retconned it by saying it's a load of crap. I guess, obviously back then, Kojima had no idea what he wanted to do with the Patriots storyline. And then when it came to MGS4, he obviously decided, oh wait, if we make the Patriots these guys, I can create this story over here. So they completely retconned it. Good old Solidus.
Their own interests by controlling the digital flow of information.
Now, with the media and global opinion under complete control, not even the UN can stand up to them.
Then Liquid's insurrection is against them.
Exactly. It would seem as though Liquid has taken up Big Boss's cause. An age of persistent universal warfare. A world where mercenaries are free from domination. In a sense, the Outer Heaven Big Boss invasion is already a living reality.
You mean the PMCs and their war business?
Right now, Liquid is a slave to the Patriots, forced to fight their proxy wars for them.
He must be dying to break free of their spell.
Beneath the surface, A new Cold War is brewing between Liquid and the Patriots over who will survive.
And no matter who wins, the world has no future. Until we stop Liquid and destroy the system, we'll never be free.
Snake, what we call peace is an equilibrium kept in check by the war economy. Destroying the system means wiping out the information society, the end of modern civilization. Like it or not, we may have no choice but to protract the system.
Snake, here's what we know about the current battle. Rebel guerrilla units are advancing on the base of the government PMC troops. That base appears to be Liquid's safe house. According to Naomi's data, she's being held prisoner inside the compound.
That's where she is.
Assuming the data is correct. And one more thing.
What now?
The government PMC troops have been operating at high altitudes. We have reports that it's starting to upset the balance of the nanomachine control.
Those suits right there that I'm looking at right now, they only appear during one part of the game, aside from this. When it comes to the gameplay, they only appear during one area of the gameplay. So I find that weird. They designed this whole entire type of enemy, but they only use them once throughout the whole entire game. It's like if they designed the gecko and they only used the gecko once in the whole entire game. I just find that kind of weird. If they're going to go through the effort of creating an asset like that, you would think they would use them a lot throughout the game, but nope, just for that one area. Not that I'm complaining or anything, I just think that's an interesting observation. The vampire that will never die. Of course you can see him during the final scene of MGS2 standing in the background of New York City. So at this point fans knew that Vamp was still alive since MGS2, so it's not as if it's a surprise for him to appear in this game. Actually, now I think about it, I'm pretty sure Vamp appears in the trailers for MGS4, so they spoiled the fact that he was coming back in the trailers. I could be wrong about that, but I think I saw him in the trailer, if I remember right. It's like, yep, we've already seen her impale someone with a tentacle. Got any new material?
Leave one.
Don't forget this face. This is the face of the bastard who killed your comrade.
I assume that would have an impact on the gameplay, because when you come up to the rebels, they are initially neutral with you, I believe, but you can get them on your side and fighting with you if you start taking out the PMCs right in front of them. So I found that kind of weird. I always thought when I first played the game that the fact that Laughing Octopus is using Snake's face when she kills a bunch of the rebels is going to cause them to hate you during the gameplay, but it doesn't turn out that way. I mean, if you attack the rebels, they do hate you, obviously, but initially they don't. It's how she was talking about how, you know, don't forget this face. This is the face of the bastard that's killed your comrades. I really thought that would have an impact on the story, on the gameplay, but nope, it doesn't. One thing I'm still confused by is why is Vamp working for Liquid? Because that's what he is doing. He's working for Liquid right now. And Liquid's... well, I don't know, I guess it makes sense. Because Ocelot killed Fortune. If I'm not mistaken, Vamp either had a relationship with Fortune, or either way, he likes Fortune. So why would... So I was... At first I was thinking Ocelot killed Fortune, so wouldn't Vamp hate Ocelot? But then again, Liquid has taken over Ocelot's body, so maybe Vamp is cool with Liquid, and for that reason he's working for him.
What the hell? That was...
I guess it makes sense, now I think about it.
I'll never forget that face.
Those were PMC soldiers with him. Is he involved in Liquid's plan?
We watched him die in Manhattan. Damn it, he won't leave us alone. Snake, could Vamp be immortal?
Not a chance. This is the real world, not some fantasy game.
I swear, the next time he shows up...
Not now, Otacon.
Right. I know. Snake, according to satellite imagery procured by Mei Ling, the facility where Naomi's being held is to the north, along a mountain road. I'm sending the location to your map.
Mei Ling? What's she up to these days?
Taking command of the Missouri, apparently.
The Missouri? That's a World War II battleship.
The museum contract in Hawaii expired some time ago. I hear it's now being used as a virtual training vessel.
No kidding.
Not for actual combat training, of course, but rather to get sailors used to seamanship on an analog vessel. Or so I hear. After the mess at Shadow Moses, Mei Ling kinda got put out to pasture.
Even so, making captain at her age, that's pretty impressive.
Rumor has it she caught the eye of some lecherous old admiral who got her promoted. She always did have a thing for older men.
Maybe it's too early to retire after all.
Thinking of taking a little training on an analog vessel, Snake?
No. At this point, I've got no need for any more training.
Fair enough. Listen, Snake. When you get there, remember, the conflict between the PMCs and the rebels has nothing to do with your mission. There's no reason for you to get involved or take sides. That said, creating some sort of impact on the battlefield could produce better conditions for sneaking. The rebels are targeting the facility being used by the PMCs as a base. This is more or less the same spot where Naomi's being held. If you aid the rebels, they might get rid of some of the PMCs and help carve a path for you to sneak in.
That freak I just saw, with the tentacles, was it using the same octo-camo system as my suit?
Yeah?
I thought that technology was of your own design.
Actually, I kinda based it on some designs Sonny snagged off the net.
And the data came from?
DARPA?
So in other words, we're on equal ground technologically.
Sorry. I guess I should have told you.
And by the looks of things, they know I'm coming too.
Yeah, it could be a trap. Stay sharp.
So the first thing I always do is go into Drabin's shop and buy a sniper rifle. One that fires tranquilizer rounds, of course. Gotta try and stay non-lethal whenever possible. Whoa, that was expensive. I didn't realise it was that expensive. I completely forgot. Okay, we got 10 shots. I think that's enough anyway, so. Alright, yeah. So basically, these PMCs are about to execute the rebels that they've captured. So it would be wise if you shot a bunch of these guys, well, knocked everyone out, if you took out all of these PMCs before they executed the rebels. So this means the rebels survive and they will fight alongside you for the rest of the, well, for the most of the act. Makes things a lot easier. Oh shit, they've been waking each other up, I didn't realise. I've made a mess of this. Don't wake each other up. I was busy talking to the camera, so I was like, wasn't really paying attention. I think it's all good though. I think the rebels are going to start climbing to their feet. Better keep an eye out for any other soldiers.
Nice going! Any other prisoners left?
Yet another gun I won't be using.
This is HQ. All clear. Understood. The state of alert has been lifted. Resume positions.
From the PMCs? The PMC's state of alert, I'm assuming? I didn't even realise there was an alert. Dudes, let's go. There is a few more items lying around, more ammo, more rations, probably one or two other weapons lying about those buildings, but I'm too lazy to explore them, so I'm just going to move on. Did I miss? Yep, I did. I missed again, I think. He's down anyway.
What's going on? Stay on your toes. Nobody here.
Oh, we're talking about him right here. I do feel as if the enemies, but they do seem to blend into the background a lot, so I do have trouble locating them a lot. So I do tend to use the solid eye sometimes, although I do feel as if it makes the game a bit too easy as well. And of course it does make sense for the enemies to blend into the background. Of course they would and should wear uniform which blends into the background. That is what soldiers would do, of course. They didn't kill the rebels, did they? Where are the rebels? Are they moving? They're slowly but surely making their way over here. That's it. Apparently I tranked all of the PMCs. That's what the fireworks meant. It meant that the rebels had won the fight in this area. Okay. Well, I don't have to worry about the enemies anymore. Just go straight ahead. And we are about to get a call from a familiar face, I believe. So this is where they add one more contact to our codec. I think there's only 2 contacts throughout the whole entire game, I think. If I remember right. Just Otacon and this person.
Snake, there's someone I'd like you to meet. A member of the mission staff. A psychological counselor.
Psychological counselor?
A lot of soldiers can't handle the stress of battle, end up panicking. She'll be useful in helping you understand the mindset of both the PMC and rebel soldiers.
She?
Rosemary.
Nice to meet you, Snake.
This is Rosemary. She used to work as a data analyst at the Pentagon, but moved to combat support during the Big Shell incident.
Yeah. She was in charge of Jack's files, wasn't she?
After that, she studied psychology. And now she's a counselor with CSP, the Combat Stress Platoon.
Yeah, I hear psychological counseling's the hot field these days. Increased combat efficiency and productivity, all without ever picking up a gun.
I'll be acting as your personal counselor on this mission. Since the passing of the new millennium, one of the most important issues facing today's military is the mental care of its soldiers. I can also provide advice on soldier psychology from a threat assessment perspective. Contact me anytime. I'll be standing by here at home with Roy, but I'm on a different circuit. The frequency is 147.79.
Her advice will have a positive effect on your psych gauge. Survival on the battlefield depends on your psychological well-being. Lose your cool and your body stops doing what you tell it to. Even a veteran soldier like you.
I know. Mind, body, technique. Some things haven't changed with time.
When your psyche is running low, ask her for advice. It'll help keep you in peak condition and focused on the mission.
By the way, Colonel, isn't that your house?
Well, yes.
Then the woman you married, the one that Meryl was talking about.
Is Rosemary, yes. Didn't I tell you before?
News to me. What about Jack?
Jack?
Jack, from Foxhound. Codename Ryden. I seem to remember him being engaged to Rose.
Oh. We lost all trace of him.
Jack's gone. I used to work with the guy. He saved Sonny from the Patriots.
He disappeared soon after that.
What about you? Jack disappeared and you just moved in on Rose?
I was consoling her over her loss, and one thing just led to another.
She's young enough to be your daughter.
Yeah, lucky me, huh?
Now I see why Meryl was so disgusted.
Meryl said something about me.
Yeah, I believe her words were, "I'll never forgive that womanizing piece of shit."
I see.
Colonel, you knew she was our informant in the Middle East, didn't you? Was it you who put her up to it?
Yes. I used my connections in the army to get Meryl the job.
You wanted your daughter someplace where you could keep an eye on her.
Look, everybody involved in the incident at Shadow Moses either lost their job and status, or in the case of Meryl and Mei Ling, got brushed aside. Meryl wanted to make a comeback, a difference. We can't all be as strong as you, Snake. Some of us can't bear living like pariahs.
Since Shadow Moses, I've been branded a criminal.
I think of it as my own small way of making it up to
I like the way Campbell keeps adjusting himself in his seat. It feels very natural and very real. The attention to detail, fantastic. And I'm totally on Colonel's side there, to be honest, on Campbell's side. I think Snake is way too hard on him. Like, give the guy a break. Like, and especially when and this is without finding out what is really going on between Campbell and Rose. There is a little twist going on there, of course. Everyone who's played the game will know what I'm talking about. But even without knowing that twist, I'm still on Campbell's side. I think the Snake is way too hard on the guy. I mean, Campbell is a cool dude. Just let him be happy. Let him do what he wants to do. Somebody. Oh, I think it was the rebels that almost spotted me, which we are friendly with anyway, so it's all good. Basically, the best strategy, as far as I can tell, for most of these maps is to sneak through most of the areas is to just stick to the outskirts. Basically, that seems to work the best for practically every single map, every single area. Uh-oh.
Need backup. All right. We've got company. Damn, you're good.
Not letting him spot me. Not today. Did I miss? No. I would like to climb up this, but oh well, let's do it.
We got company.
Whoa, is that someone? I can't tell if that's a rock or a person. I might be a bit paranoid. Right there. I think it's a flower, actually. I keep seeing people in the rocks. Okay, let's go. I think the rebels spawn in this next area anyway, so it doesn't make a difference whether or not I allow them to get all the way through this area. I don't need to clear the area of PMCs is what I'm saying.